Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rachak Kudash. The honors under the elders of Apostle Great Millstone, the elders Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, serving in truth and sincerity. Yes, I'm the brother Chayaba from Z-Man's Plaintables camp. Come back with another lesson to spirit. So this lesson will be based on Acts before and 13. We're going to read through 22. So this passage, this part right here within Acts chapter 4, 13 through 22. Within this, the enemies of the Lord can't deny the work that what he has put upon earth. We know the enemies within this context is referring to the rulers and the authorities of Israel in that time. The point is that they can't deny what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has put, the works, the miracles. They couldn't deny it. What, they tried to stop the name from spreading by threatening Peter and John. But we know Peter and John answered that they're to listen to the Most High rather than men. We know within Acts chapter 3, Peter healed the lame man through the name of Yahushai. After that, Peter declared how there's no other name given among men whereby we must be saved, because the lame man was healed through Yahushai, the name of Yahushai. Peter didn't do it by his own power. No, he said himself, he did it by the name of Yahushai, and that how there's no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. That's the name where we receive salvation by. So this Acts 4 and 13. It says, now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned, ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Yahushai. So they thought that Peter and John were unlearned and ignorant men, but they still marveled at the boldness that they were coming in. It says, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushai. Yeah, they could already tell that they were that Peter and John were with Yahushai. So Peter and John didn't need the approval of what those men, the rulers of Israel. The rulers and authorities of Israel. Matthew 11 and 25. It says, at that time Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. The point is that the Lord isn't going to reveal it onto the smartest guy, according to the standards of this world. No, it says, and has revealed them unto babes. So the low and the meek, the low ones of Israel, the Lord has revealed this word unto, and gave them power to speak the word, to be able to confound the wise. In this case, what the wise and prudent will be the rulers and authorities of Israel. The examples we just read, the scribes, the high priest, so on and so forth, that were against Yahushai and against the apostles. Even though they are super wise in our law, and what they have the phylacteries and all this, what it says, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. So the Lord has revealed the word, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, unto the low and the meek. So the low ones of the nation of Israel, the Lord has revealed this onto, and raised them up to preach the word, his word. 1 Corinthians 1:27, or 1 Corinthians 1:27. But the Most High hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Yeah, we looked at as weak things. We're not these high people in this society with all these degrees and all these certifications that the world deems as the highest standard of this world. Master's degree, PhD. Even though some brothers might have that, we don't use that to exalt ourselves. No, because we know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai looks at those things like they're nothing, and what they are nothing. A master's degree, PhD degree, or whatever, go down a list of the standards of this world. No, it says, read it once again, 1 Corinthians 1 and 27. But the Most High has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Yeah, so the ones who didn't go to college, you have many brothers who might have dropped out, who don't have a degree, they don't have this high position within a job or whatever. No, but guess what? We're still able to teach the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And to confound the wise, the people who went to these seminary schools or obtaining this high degree or this certification that the world that is the standard of this world. No, but guess what? The lowest are able to confound the people with these high degrees and certifications. Go down the list. It says, and the Most High has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So we have a direct example of that. Peter and John, the rulers and authorities of Israel, looked at them as if they are unlearned, ignorant men. But they still were confounded by Peter and John as what they were taught by Yahushai, and it came in the name of Yahushai. So they taught the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai exactly how they were supposed to, and they couldn't do anything about it. So our proofs are really credentials do not determine whether or not a man has a truth. The Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai determines if a man has a truth. And he doesn't need a worldly certification or credentials for that, to have the truth. We just read it. The Lord has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. So this is Acts chapter 4 and 14. And beholding the man which was healed standing with him, they could say nothing against it. Verse 15, but when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them that is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem. We cannot deny it. So they wanted this event of the miracle to start spreading among the people. And the way how they wanted to do that was to threaten Peter and John not to teach in the name anymore. So showing the importance of the name of Yahushua. You have some guys that say that the name doesn't matter. What we just read, let us straight, so this is what they're saying, let us straightly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in this name, because they can see the power in the name. So that shows you how important the name of the Lord is. That's why Esau pays a lot of these Israelite leaders that sold out. That's why we see them not teaching the name anymore, because Esau knows the power of the name of the Lord. That's why this devil goes so deep into trying to stop that name from being pushed. So you have some guys that say that the name doesn't matter. So it says Acts chapter 4 and 19. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of the Most High to hearken unto you more than unto the Most High, judge ye. For we cannot speak, or it says, for we cannot but speak the things which ye have seen and heard. So Peter and John didn't go back and forth emotionally with, no, they said it straight. What, they laid it straight and said, whether it be right in the sight of the Most High to hearken unto you more than unto the Most High, judge ye. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard. So they already put the order, which was to speak the things that the Lord told them to speak, and to do the things that the Lord told them to do. We know Matthew chapter 10, where Yahushua commanded the disciples. They're the disciples of that time, the 12 disciples, to go throughout, speak unto the lost sheep of Israel, to heal the sick, heal the lame, and what to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So Peter and John are still doing that, hearkening unto Yahushua. It says Acts chapter 5 and 29. Now Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So that's putting it straight right there. Peter said, and the other apostles answered and said, what? Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So whenever the enemies of the Lord, such as the rulers and authorities of Israel, came up against the apostles, they weren't swayed by the threats and the certain things that those guys were saying. No, the apostles weren't swayed by that. So when we see today the wicked of our people coming up against us, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, we also are not swayed by that. Why? Because as it says, we have the same mindset. We have to obey the Most High rather than the men. Yes, we're doing what Yahweh Bashim Yashai has told us. And we put that above anything, that what any man has to tell us. That's what a true man of Yahweh Bashim Yashai is going to do. So we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So we obey Yahweh Bashim Yashai over everything. Acts chapter 4 and 21. So when they have further threatened them, they let them go, finding nothing, how they might punish them because of the people. For all men glorify the Most High, that which was done. As the scriptures say, resist the devil and he shall flee. So Peter and John resisted. How did Yahushua resist the devil? Well, he did it by bringing out the scriptures. When Satan tried to tempt Yahushua, well, Yahushua cut even in what within that event. Satan even tried bringing out scriptures to try to tempt Yahushua into doing the things that he was supposed to do, like casting himself down the mountain because the angels would bear him up. But Yahushua said that you should not tempt the Most High. And going down the list, well, Yahushua used the word of the Lord to cut Satan. So right here, Peter and John resisted the rulers and authorities by bringing the will of Yahweh Bashim Yashai into the picture. So what? They were let go. As it says, find nothing how they might punish them. Because of the people, for all men glorify the Most High for that which was done. So it says, for the man was above 40 years old on whom this miracle of healing was showed. So we have 3 points to recap. The rulers and authorities of Israel viewed Peter and John as unlearned. As we just read, they couldn't deny the miracle that had already taken place. And as we just read, Peter and John chose the Most High rather than listening to men. So we are to follow that same spirit. So even though the rulers and authorities threatened Peter and John, they still kept on going, doing the will of Yahweh Bashim Yashai as they were commanded. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, we do the same thing. So yeah, we can end it right there. Those brothers out there edified. Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bashim Kakurash Brakatham. Shalom.